Hello, good people. Yes, I'm here. Yeah. This is Phil Chenevert with Why Do We Say That? Now, today, I don't know if you can see this or if it's backwards or whatever, but it says spam. Now, what brought this to my old, decrepit mind? I'll tell you. Yesterday, last night, I got a call and it was, "Hello, Mr. Chenevert, would you care to donate to the Athlete's Foot national organization?" No, I don't. Thank you. And I pressed a button and I put it on my block list. And then my phone, this little phone here, said, "That is your 347th block." And man, that's a lot of blocking stuff. So, and the word spam came to mind because of that, because we got so much of this stuff that we have to block. So why do we call it spam? I call it spam. I call them spam calls. My wife says, "Who is that, dear?" I said, "It was a spam call, dear. They wanted us to buy some medication or whatever." In other words, unsolicited phone calls. We call them spam. Well, why do we use the word spam? It's interesting. I love it because it goes back basically um, to a 1970 Monty Python flying circus skit on television. Um, so I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, I did. I just got a message came in just now. I had to read it. My poor synapses just don't synapse very fast anymore. They're trying. We're working, Phil. So I'm gonna put the spam was invented about 19, I think 37, 1937. Won it by Hormel. Beautiful product. I ate a lot of spam. I love spam. My mama, my darling mother, would cook it up, and I had it on sandwiches. We'd fry it up for supper. Good stuff. Well, in World War II, of course, we sent millions and tons of spam because over to Europe. Uh, they needed some food, and what is this? It's preserved. You can keep it on the shelf. It tastes good. It is, by the way, that stands for spiced ham. Spiced ham. so, so it went over there, and some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but apparently it was very well received by some people. And Monty Python did a skit in 1970, whereby they, I guess, made fun of the fact that spam was always available. It's in a diner. In fact, I'm gonna put the link, I hope, in the description that will give you to their original script skit. And it's basically saying, "What's on the menu?" "Well, we got eggs and spam. We got bacon, eggs, and spam. We got spam and spam. We got baked beans and spam. We got spam, 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 and spam." And it just goes on. Everything's got spam in it. And then a bunch of Vikings sitting around in this little diner start thinking, "Spam, spam, 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 wonderful spam." And it drowns out everything. So uh, in the 1980s, 85, 1990s, when they started having these MUDs, we used to call them, basically you would dial up on your phone and you could get into this multiple user dungeon or interface where you could type messages and you would basically interact with people and like nerdish. We would wait for that. I was in that era when you would you'd have to dial up on your phone, wait for it to connect, and then you could get slowly, very slowly into this interface with other people. Very early days. Or if you were downloading something, you'd be waiting an hour and a half. You're downloading, and then somebody picks up the phone, and you lost everything. Anyway, that's we far past that now. So the nerds remembered this script skit, and other people started getting into these MUDs, into these things, and irritating people by just typing things in that would be uh, take a long time for them to download and wouldn't mean anything. And of course, they started using spam, 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 spam from this skit. So that developed into that. And then when email came along, um, unsolicited email, all the thousands of emails, if you go look in your spam folder, you'll see there's tons of stuff. All of that became known as spam. The word carried over. This is a great example of how when we find a word that's useful, that describes something, we keep it and we use it, and then we keep applying it to more and more faces. So it became applied to email as spam, unsolicited email that's usually trying to either get information from you or trick you or something. But then now we've kind of moved away from email, they tell me, and we moved into texting and phone calls. And I used the word spam in the same context. Unconsciously, I transferred it, unsolicited phone calls from unsolicited emails. And that's where the word spam comes from, the Monty Python skit. And in 1970, and it's hilarious. Hopefully, you'll click on the link if I put it in there and watch it. It's funny. Thanks a lot. This is Phil Schneemeyer. Today is July the 7th, 6th, 2022.